Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. And thank you for making KCTU the place for your local news this half hour. I'm RJ Dickens. It's 65 degrees at our studios in the Douglas Design District. Here's what you'll be talking about. Just days after Hutchinson announced it would be canceling their annual 4th of July celebration, organizers of another area event say they're out, for this year at least. The Wichita Eagle reports a statement on the Derby Days website, says the governing board has trouble getting volunteers and donations since moving the festival to Father's Day weekend to avoid conflicts with the Wichita River Festival, which moved to early June last year. Three escaped inmates who broke out early this morning from the minimum security facility in Lansing are considered armed and dangerous. Two of them are from the Wichita area. 31-year-old Alan Hurst is 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 220 pounds with blue eyes and brown hair. He was convicted in 2010 on multiple counts of burglary and theft in Sedgwick County. Scott Gilbert is 6 foot 2 inches tall, weighs 231 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair. He was also convicted in 2010 on multiple counts of burglary and theft. Randy Rydens is 5 feet 11 inches, weighs 230 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair, and he was convicted in 2010 on multiple counts of burglary and theft in Shawnee and Douglas counties. If you see any of these individuals, call 911. 4 people were hurt when a car crashed into a home on Maple early this morning. The Wichita Eagle reports on its website the incident occurred around 12:45 when a police officer attempted to pull over the vehicle on West Street near Pawnee and Southwest Boulevard. A chase ensued, and police deployed spike strips at a railroad crossing on Maple near Friends University. Police say the car drove over the spike strips and crossed the tracks before leaving the street and crashing into the home 2 blocks east of the tracks located near Maple and Glen Street. The car with 5 people inside caught fire. 4 of the 5 were taken to a Wichita hospital. A 17-year-old male and an 18-year-old female were later arrested. KFDI Radio reports a woman and a child inside the home were not injured. FBI agents joined a force of 150 aircraft on the ground and on horseback in another day of searching for the body of an 18-month-old girl presumed dead after the murder of her mother last week. Authorities in Franklin County say they believe Lana Lee Bailey died when her mother, Kaylee, 30-year-old Andrew Stout, and 31-year-old Stephen White were killed on a farmstead west of Ottawa. 27-year-old Kyle Flack has been arrested in the case. The Kansas City Star reports Flack's arrest has brought about other questions. Flack was released from state supervision 12 years ahead of the supervised probation. Family members of another Ottawa man say they were told he would face after a 2005 attempted murder conviction. Flack served 4 years of a 5-year sentence for the shooting of a former boss who had fired him for constantly showing up for work late. Flack was evicted from the farmstead where the 3 bodies have been found for not paying rent. The farm is owned by a Wichita man who is the brother of one of the deceased. We're not mentioning his name to respect his privacy. A day after over 1,000 people gathered at the state capitol to urge legislators not to include disabled in the state's CanCare program, a House committee voted to do just that. The Wichita Eagle reports that Republicans on the House Appropriations Committee believe that Governor Sam Brownback's proposal to spend $16 million of a projected $67 million in savings from CanCare to move developmentally disabled people off a state waiting list for services without moving them into CanCare works against itself, as State Representative Mark Rhodes of Newton put it. Dave Crum of Augusta says putting the developmentally disabled into CanCare means overall our developmentally disabled population is going to be healthier. Democrat Niall Neilmore of Wichita disagreed, calling it an extortion type of move, and it was unlikely the move would produce better outcomes because developmentally disabled are permanent, and those moving to the system would not receive better quality, or after a better quality of life, not rehabilitation. Republican John Rubin of Shawnee says he thinks there are enough votes in the overall House to keep long-term care for the developmentally disabled out of CanCare for at least another year. At this moment, it's 64 degrees at Wichita's Mid-Continent Airport. Winds are from the north at 12 miles per hour. Relative humidity is 65%, and the barometric pressure is 30.08 inches. This afternoon, gradually becoming partly sunny, highs near 70, north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. This evening, windy, colder, mostly clear, winds from the northwest at 10 miles per hour. In your 43-hour forecast, it's going to be clear, but a little cooler going into the weekend. On Wall Street, stock indices are mostly higher in midday trading and are back on track to post solid gains for the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has been moving between small gains and losses today. It was down 16 points at 15,066 at noon Eastern Time. Other indices rose slightly. Local stocks at this hour. In sports, Creighton comes to X Stadium for the last time as the Shockers host the Blue Jays in their final Missouri Valley Series ever. First pitch tonight is at 6:30. It's do or die for the Thunder tonight as they host Allen in Game 6 of the Central Hockey League Finals, and the Americans up 3-2. The two teams drop the puck at 7:05. The Wild look to clinch a playoff berth as they host Salina tomorrow night at 7:05 at Hartman Arena. The first-year Bombers are a surprising 5-2 on the Championship Indoor Professional Football League season, while the Wild, with the Wingnuts set to open their season Thursday night, you can whet your appetite for baseball with the Junior College Super Regional Tournament, which began this morning at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Neosho County is taking Fort Scott at this hour in the first game, with top seed Seward County taking on Kansas City moments from now. Garden City takes on Coffeyville at 4, while Colby and Cowley County face off in the nightcap at 7. That's 43 reports for this hour. Don't forget, we've got a brand new survey on our website at kctu.com. You can also check that out on our Facebook page. Please fill it out. It helps us out a lot. That's 43 reports for this hour. Back with more Your Hour right after this.